right, man. Torture Talk. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey. Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all feeling good. Oh, man. I'm feeling so great. I'm feeling great. I love y'all, man. I really do. Whether we agree or disagree, I still love y'all, man. Come in. Give me a big hug. I love y'all. Look, man. So I just want to say a couple of things before we get into this. And I'm going to repeat this because this is Torture Talk. Listen, we all ain't always going to agree on everything. It's always good to have constructive dialogue. If you support something that I don't support, tell me why you support it. And I'll tell you why I don't support it. And we could come to some medium. If we don't, we can always agree to disagree and move to the next topic. Because that's what it is. There's no reason for anybody to get personal or feel some type of way. It's never that serious. Really isn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't resort to name calling because I don't want to say I'm above people and above all that. But I just don't resort to name calling. It's no point. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good guy. You know what I mean? I'm a lovable guy. So I know sometimes it hurts that I'm so lovable that you unsubscribe and then you say to yourself, I still gotta watch this nigga. I still gotta watch him, man. Because he's such a great guy. But I love y'all, man. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. I know y'all be tearing me up in the comments sometimes, but it is what it is, man. I got the king, he got to take it sometimes. But all right, so today's episode, Chris Brown is now suing. So we're going to see what this is about. Before I get into that, I got to get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. Just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content. Absolutely free, but if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App. No more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13, 14, 15,000. Yes, to 25,000 subscriber. I will be giving away a cash prize. And I am the king of the north. Let me know what kingdom you from. And I'll be doing a live really soon. And I got a big surprise coming up. Probably Thursday or Friday, I'm going to announce it. So y'all going to see something. It's going to be marvelous. I'm telling you. Wait till y'all see it. Anyway, so let's get to it, man. I know that was a long intro, but, sometimes it's like that. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So let's get to it, man. Let's go. All right, this comes courtesy of Never Give Up. Let's get it.
Drake.
Now, didn't I tell y'all that we are in our Drake lawsuit era? You're going to see this as a pattern because people are thinking, if Drake can sue the corporation, why can't I? And obviously, we can't compare this Chris Brown lawsuit that I'm about to talk about to Drake's situation because obviously, there's a big public outcry for what Drake is doing. Is connected to hip hop, is connected to a rap beef, totally different from Chris's situation. But you're going to have these celebrities sitting around looking at situations that they've gone through, and they're going to be thinking, can I get a couple of dollars if Drake can do it?
Now, remember I said this to y'all. Remember I said, you're going to have a lot of artists that come out and do stuff like this. Now, we don't know exactly why, at least right now, we don't know exactly why Chris is doing this. We don't. You know what I'm saying? It's not for defamation, but that's not the point. The point is some artists are going to sue their labels. Now, do I believe that what Drake did is going to inspire, other artists to do it? Absolutely. Do I believe that that's a bad thing? Not necessarily if it's warranted. If it's something that I believe that you should do it for, if you're doing it and it's for like doing it, you know what I'm saying? If it's for something that is for a good cause, or if you're doing it because you've been done wrongly and not reaching like Drake is, I understand exactly why. But let's be honest here. A lot of these artists, they go into these deals because they're, I'll get into that maybe later on another video because that's a lot to say. I'm just going to say a lot of these artists are done wrongly. You know what I'm saying? And some of it's their fault. Some of them is not, but some of them go into these deals and they don't know what they got into. You know what I'm saying? So whose fault really is it? Is it the label's fault for putting it out there and you get into the deal? Or is it, that's a conversation we can have another day. But I'm just saying, like, we're going to start to see more of these.
Can do it too. And I think that's what we see here with Chris Brown. He's suing Warner Brothers for $500 million. And once again, you're not going to tell me this 6ix9ine lawsuit and this Chris Brown lawsuit is just coming out of the blue after Drake decided to sue one of the biggest corporations in entertainment, okay? So let's get into the Chris Brown lawsuit because this is very interesting. Y'all better like the video. Y'all better subscribe because I think Chris got a good case on his hands. He might be about to get paid. Facts. Now, they say Chris is filing this for $500 million because he's claiming that Warner Brothers, with their documentary called A History of Violence, was spreading false allegations, heinous acts, including sexual assault, which has been previously discredited in court. And before we even get to breaking down this Chris Brown doc, where's the Trey Songz doc? There's a history of violence with Trey Songz. He didn't pay it out.
So let me stop it there because, all right, so I'm going to say this. I don't really know too much about the history of violence with Chris Brown. So I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all and speak on it. What I do know is what happened to Rihanna. Now, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I'm be honest with y'all. I wasn't there. I don't want to sound like I'm being naive either. Because I know a lot of y'all jump in the comments, oh, bro, you see, you doing it again. Like, I wasn't there. So I can't tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying? And Rihanna, I believe she did tell a story, and I'm more subjected to believe her than him. And it's a reason why that is. The reason why I would believe Rihanna over Chris is because he never said that he never did it. At least I never seen it. You know what I'm saying? He never said he never. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I don't know what happened between the two. I really don't. Maybe somebody could put a link in the inside of the what's the name. But she did say that he put his hands on it. You know what I'm saying? I seen that interview. But I don't remember an interview with Chris saying that he didn't do it. So I didn't see that interview, but let's keep it going.
So much money to these women for all of this hush money. I remember that girl who was the twin. Remember them twins that be playing basketball? Trey, I ain't forgot about that. And I done heard females tell me personally about what Trey Songz be doing. Yeah, I'll say it. Where's his doc? That's the doc you need. You can do all the allegations you want in there. Because it's a paper trail. And it's coming right out of Trey Songz' goddamn bank account. Now, I remember when the preview for this came out. And I remember they had this part where they was showing all of these women. So they was like, yeah, Chris Brown did this to Rihanna.
List of
Karrueche, some white girl that we never heard of. I think this is another girl that accused him of shit. But basically, in this documentary, a lot of the people who watched it feel like,
bro, that white girl, terrible, bro. She looks terrible. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you right now, you could just see she got a nose job, but she looks horrible. She just looks terrible. Like, she looks terrible. She looks like her face was reconstructed. She looks so terrible. She looks like a Muppet baby. Like, for real. Like, and again, I don't want to, I'm not talking bad on her. I am kind of talking bad. I ain't talking bad on her like that. I'm just saying she looks terrible. Whoever did her surgery, because she does look like she has surgery. It just looks bad. That's all I'm saying. Like it just looks like a bad drawing. Looks like somebody drew this face and he's like, "Yo, check this face out," and you'd be like, "I think the eye's a little crooked, bro, and the nose a little. It's okay, but like, you know what I'm saying? She just looks like a bad drawing."
They did a whole doc about allegations. Now, obviously, we know the Chris Brown Rihanna situation was real, so that's not an allegation. But you know, they putting up Karuche's picture. I don't think Karuche ever took him to court or he was found to doing something to Karuche. Now they got this white girl up here. I think she was one of the girls that accused him of doing something, but I think this was one of the situations that was proven to be false in court. And this comment section that I'm about to read to y'all is the exact reason why I feel like Chris Brown has a good case. Because when the people can see that the documentary is full of bullshit, then the court will easily be able to see the same thing. So look at the first comment. It says, "So y'all gonna feature the woman that accused him of R-word. It was documented that she was found to have lied. If you're gonna tell it, tell the truth."
But you have to understand, right? There's a bunch of things working at the same time against black men in this country. Let's be clear here. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things working against us, whether we're light skin, dark skin, pale skin, whatever. It's a lot of things working against us. A lot of different entities working against us. It's a lot of people that's even in our circle working against us. You know what I'm saying? And when you have corporations making money off of you, those same corporations will take you down to make money too. They'll bring you up to make money with you. And then when they have a chance to have a closed door meeting, they'll close that door, leave you outside the door, and then use those same tactics to take you down. And I believe that this is a great case for Chris if he's going through with it, because if they're saying that that woman was found to be lying on him, then why would they be putting her in the document? Because you know what? A lot of times people don't even pay attention to the artist. They pay attention to the so-called victim. That woman is not a victim. She's a imposter. You know what I'm saying? So they pay attention to these imposters who pretend to be victims to get money off of these artists. They do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be real careful about what you support or whoever you support.
The next comment said, y'all talking about Chris Brown, but y'all still ain't talking about that Epstein list. Now this next comment is long as hell, but this must be one of them Chris Brown fans. I feel like this girl go to the concerts. Her name is SkyX Monique. I know she paid Chris Brown $2,000 so she can jump on his lap and take a picture. But the first sentence says it all. And she said, "I'm sorry, but I understand if this is a doc about crimes he's been charged with. But how the F can you make a whole documentary based on allegations and have a random person, distorted voice, face blacked out, with a new story to tell about him abusing them?" But
because the reason why they do that is because the allegations now is the money. As long as you don't have to prove anything. It's all about perception. If you can perceive to put something on somebody and they can perceive to be the monster that you say they are, it doesn't matter if they're the monster or not. There's a movie called, I believe it's called The Village, right? Now, I was going to say Signs, but it's called The Village by M. Night Shyamalan. None of y'all have seen this movie. Basically, the movie is all about perception. You know what I'm saying? And I want to tell y'all the movie because it's an excellent movie and I think people should go watch it. But it's all about perception, and it really messed you up because the whole time you were thinking that it was something else going on when it really wasn't. And even me, even everybody in the theater was thinking this until something happened towards the end of the movie, and we were all shocked. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it because the way it was centered, that this was the perception, and this is what they do to certain artists. All you have to do is paint a narrative, put it out there. Doesn't matter if it's true or false. They used to do this all the time was the Inquirer. The Inquirer used to make money off of stuff that was alleged or perceived not to be real. It's just basically Obama take a picture with an alien and he put an alien next to Obama. You know what I'm saying? Or is Michelle Obama or is Hillary Clinton divorcing Bill Clinton because of this? And have he has a baby by someone that no one knows about from the underwater ocean woman. Let me say it's just something stupid. But that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? I know those was bad examples. I'm just saying that this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? They put these things out there, and then what happens is, as long as they could get the public to fall for it, that's all that matters. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some things that people are monsters. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird that a lot of the real monsters, they don't really ever, get documentaries because, believe it or not, the monsters that they don't want to talk about, they were holding hands with those monsters at one point, if you get what I mean.
Again, the most important part is a documentary based on allegations. Now, you couple that with what's been going on with Chris, which is, I think over the last few years, there's been a lot of sympathy for Chris Brown and his situation with Rihanna. Meaning, I think there's a lot of people who feel like, how long does Chris Brown have to be punished for something he did when he was a young adult? I think he might have been like 17 or 19 when that situation with Rihanna happened. I can look it up real quick. Yeah, he was 19. I looked it up. So he was 19 when this happened, and you've still seen things come up from that situation that still affect his life and his career till this day. Now,
that's a good question. And I want to ask that to the ladies. Ladies, do you believe that a man like Chris Brown should be ever forgiven for what he has done to Rihanna? You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, I believe her. So let me do this. Hey Siri, how old is Chris Brown? So Chris Brown is 35 years old, and this happened when he was 19. So this is almost 20 years ago, right? So this is almost 20 years ago. Do you believe that this man should be forgiven? And another question I have too. If Rihanna forgave him for it, ladies, do you feel like you should be obligated to forgive him for what he did to her if she forgave him? Not obligated, but do you feel comfortable enough to forgive him even though she did? You know what I'm saying? So, but that's all.
Obviously, Chris Brown is still $100 millionaire. He's still one of the biggest artists. He might be top 10 most selling artists till this day, at least top 20, but his name still rings bells like he's top 10, right? When you think of Drake, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, all of them type of people, somewhere in that list, you're going to think of, oh yeah, Chris Brown. Not only that, his tours do amazing, but he still has these little situations where it's like, oh, you're still holding this over his head. One example.
Yeah, there's this one guy on YouTube who I went back and forth. Now, this is when my channel wasn't big, and he actually deleted the video. But me and him, when he's actually, and it's crazy, he actually talked to me, and we went back and forth about Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? White guy. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's white. But the point I'm making is, he was trying to basically say that Chris Brown is a loser forever. And I said, but how can you make that statement? How could you say Chris Brown is a loser forever? Right? And you support, you forgave certain politicians for doing certain things to people or saying they did certain things to people. You forgave them for that. But you won't forgive Chris Brown for doing what he did. And I kept saying because he's black. He was upset about it. And I'm like, he's like, that's not the reason. I'm like, well, tell me. He couldn't really explain the reason why. And the thing is, he was one of those type of people who sit down and they make, I cannot remember this page. I mean, this YouTube page. But he's one of the type of people that sit down and he make long form videos, kind of like What's the Dirt in a way. But what he does is, you know what I'm saying, he mislead people with certain things, kind of like what the documentary is saying. Chris is saying the documentary did. And now but when they question on the spot, he can't answer nothing. He couldn't tell me why Chris Brown is the way he was. He couldn't do it. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, you know what I'm saying, when I put him on the spot about the politician who did some things that people forgave for, why can't you forgive Chris Brown?
Would be last year at the NBA All-Star game, he was supposed to be in the celebrity game, and at the last minute, Ruffles, who was a sponsor of the game, they said that they didn't want Chris Brown to be a part of the game. Now, at least that's what Chris Brown was told, and that's what he said to the internet. I reported that, and I made a video about it. And Chris Brown was upset because they invited him to be in the game, and then once Ruffles allegedly said that, they pulled him from the game last minute. So he still has to deal with these little situations till this day. Then you have documentaries like this coming out where they're reporting on shit that was proven to be false in court. When if you follow Chris Brown, you know after the Rihanna situation, there were multiple women who just blatantly lied on Chris Brown, which was proven in court. I remember recently it was a situation at a Diddy party where some girl tried to accuse him of something and he pulled out the text messages and she was begging Chris for coke and drugs and stuff like that. But she was trying to say, you know, Chris did something to her or Chris drugged her. But she was begging him for the drugs and the text. So
I absolutely remember that. I absolutely remember that. And I think that, you know what, I'm gonna let him finish and then I'm gonna speak on that.
We've seen people take the Rihanna situation and try to turn it into something that is not, to try to punish this man and try to basically say this reputation or this history of violence is still following him till this day. Meanwhile, in the last 10 years or so, maybe even 20 years, have y'all heard anything credible about Chris Brown doing anything to a female? Only negative thing we heard about Chris is allegedly he might have had a substance abuse problem. And of course, you know, he had a situation like Drake where a female popped up and said, Chris Brown, you know, you the father of my child. And that's why Chris Brown has his daughter now. I don't think he knew that that was his daughter. And then the girl popped up and said, you know, you the father to my child. But that's the only real scandalous shit we know about Chris Brown over the last 10 years. He done pieced it up with Drake. He done squashed a lot of beefs. He's still putting out music. He's still dancing, doing backflips. And I think a lot of the people now feel like enough is enough. Can you?
Yeah, so we're going to end it there. If y'all want to watch the rest, go to Never Give Up. You know what it is. Yeah, so I think that most men in this country are definitely walking on, I would say, eggshells when it comes to females. And I have to say, a good cause of that, a good portion of that causation is men as well. men do a lot of stupid, you know what I'm saying, to women. They do a lot of things. A lot of things. But you do have some malicious people out here, especially women, who thrive off of getting guys in trouble and hurting people because they don't care. As long as they don't, if they don't get their way, they throw a temper tantrum. And there's plenty of people who said that some stuff happened to them and didn't happen to them. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of women who said that men did things to them and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of men who did things to women and women never said nothing about it. So you have to really assess and pay attention to how things are you know, come across you, because believe it or not, we all fall for things. That's why me personally, I don't care what story it is. I usually wait for a day or two, because that's when you get to see what the real story is, because a lot of times they'll report something off of impulse. This happened right now. So they'll say it and then you be like, oh, and everybody jump on it. And then come to find out everybody's wrong. You got to do another story about it. I guess in a way that's kind of good because you can do two stories about it. But I don't want to have to be the one to backtrack. Be like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. Like I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But in the case of Chris, them making that documentary about him, and if it's all alleged, that's their trump card. That's how they can get out of making these documentaries about a lot of black men and getting away with it, because they could easily just say, well, we didn't say it was real. We just saying allegedly this happened. Even if it's disproven, even if you go to court and they say you're innocent, they can still say, well, someone else came forward and they alleged that you did something to them. Even they can't even prove it. As long as they can say it happened one time, they'll do that. They'll always throw it on him. One time, that's all it takes. And that's what they'll do. Thank y'all for joining me. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Hey, listen, man, we ain't gonna always agree everything. I just want to tell y'all, man, I see some of y'all in the comments. I'll be just sitting there in my bed looking at y'all. I'll be like, man, I love these people, man. I really do. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna always agree. You know what I'm saying? You okay? You good? All right, good. See y'all.